Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be short and sweet for those who requested my video settings on the Sony ZV-E10 camera. But before I get started, please drop a like below. So we're going to start by going to the top of the camera and hitting that button here. You'll see the button has three options. So you'll see the S and Q mode, that's usually for more slow motion. Then you'll see a picture of a camera, that's for still photos. And then the picture of the video. So I'm going to choose a picture of the video so that we are in video mode. And they're going to go to the second tab here, and we're going to scroll down to shoot mode on that first page. In shoot mode, I like to shoot in manual exposure so that I can dial my settings in myself. If you don't want to dial the settings in yourself, you're like walking around outside vlogging or something, you can go into intelligent auto instead of manual, and that way the camera will do your settings based off of the environment that it's sensing you're in. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and dial in our resolution. We're going to go to file format. And I like to shoot at 4K, so XAVCS 4K, or you can change that to 1080 if you wish. Then you're going to go down to your frame rate. I like to shoot at a frame rate of 24 frames per second, 100M. You can shoot at 30 as well. That P is just the frames per second, so you can go 30, but just make sure you're choosing 100M, whatever one you choose. And then we're going to go out and go to this dial here. You change that dial. That's going to be your shutter speed. Your shutter speed should be twice your frame rate. So if you're at 24 frames per second, then your shutter speed should be 1/50. And if you're at 30 frames per second, your shutter speed should be 1/60. So you want to make sure your shutter speed is double your frame rate. If you don't have the number exact, like I'm shooting at 24, there's not a 48, so you want to get as close as possible, so that would be 50. Then we're going to go into our aperture. The aperture is like how much light you're letting into the lens. Oh, excuse me. So the lens I have here goes down to 1.4. You want to set it as low as possible. And the lenses that have the lower aperture, you can actually take in the lower light environments, which is nice. So this one here, I can actually dial the aperture in on my lens here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to bring it all the way down. You see, the higher I take it up, the darker it gets. The lower I take it down, the lighter it gets. So I'm going to take it down to 1.4. It's almost like the iris or the eyeball into your camera. Then I'm going to take that dial here and go over to the ISO. The higher you take this number, the more bright the picture gets, the lower it gets darker. But the thing with this ISO, be careful. You don't want to go too high. 100 is a good place to start, and you dial as much as you need. But be careful, because the higher you dial that number up, the more grain you're going to introduce into your video. So I like to keep that as close to 100 as possible, not going over 1,000. Then we're going to go ahead and put in our white balance. You can either go to auto white balance and just make it an auto, or if you want to just do the basic temperature of daytime light, I would say between 4,500 and 5,500K is a good number. Maybe just make that around 4,500K, and that's if you're sitting stationary somewhere, that's a good number to have there for a daytime temperature. I have a gray card that I can set my white balance with. You can get that off of Amazon for $8. You just sit the card in front of the camera, it snaps a picture of it, and it tells you what the white balance in that room should be. So now we are going to go out to our focus. Focus mode should be at continuous. Focus area is going to be wide. Then our face, eye, autofocus is going to be set to human. Right, left, eye select is going to be on auto. And then face, frame, eye display is going to be on. All right, and then the last thing you want to do is make sure that your audio is on and correct. So the audio, a good number to start with is between 9 and 15, and go from there to see where your audio is ranging from. You want to make sure that your audio levels go between -3 and -12 so that you don't have too much distortion when you go to edit your video. So -3 to -12 decibels, once you test the mic, is a good place for your audio to fall within. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Please don't forget to drop me a like, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Turn on your post notifications if you want to be notified of when my posts go up, and I will see you all soon.